What up? What up? What up? It's your boy Rich. Real Talk with Rich is back. Good to see each and every one of you. Glad you guys could come by. Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming. While you're here, since you're coming in the door, please like, share, subscribe, and appreciate that. Also, want you guys to tell a friend, tell a hater, tell somebody we live on tonight. Real Talk with Rich is here, giving you that black pill and whatever else it comes to mind. Now, let me explain when I say giving you that black pill. I mean, the truth be told, black pill is basically, it's used in a lot of different settings, but in short, it's basically a philosophy where you accept certain things to be the way they are because you feel like they never will change. And that's kind of it in a nutshell. That's a lot. It's a little bit more complicated than that, but at the core of what a black pill person is, when it comes with whether it regards to some people use it in relationships or philosophies of views of life or whatever. When it comes to comics, when it comes to certain things, I'm just black pill. We hope, we think, we cry, we moan, we whine. Some stuff is just the way it is, and you got to either accept it or move around. So, but anyway, and when I use that word, that phrase, I'm being facetious, guys. So please, 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 just take it with as entertainment versus how I really, really feel. Because I'm an eternal optimist. I believe the glass is half full, not half empty. But I do want to know, where did half the water go or half the glass go? I do have that question. So with that said, I hope you guys had a great week. We're going to go ahead and get into our show on tonight. Again, please like, share, subscribe. Hit the like button while you're on your way in. I'm having some technical difficulties on my end, so I can't see the chat just yet. So we're going to try to fix that on my end. But, no worries. Thank all you guys for coming. I hope wherever you are in this world, I hope you're having a wonderful time. Hope you're living your best life. And if not, why? Why not? What's going on, Brooklyn? Good to see each and every one of you. Pericles, I saw my man Mir, 1 in 100 podcast. Good to see you guys, man. I'm having issues with the chat, so y'all gonna have to give me a minute while I try to work this out. But we do have a show. What up, Black Panther? Like the chat name. Frustrated. What's going on? Yeah. Yes, indeed. So we're gonna go ahead and get into our show. Our first segment, low hanging fruit. That's a segment of our show where we talk about the news and things that is just kind of happening. You know what I'm saying? So our first article is a Screen Rant article, and the Screen Rant article is, Storm is in the news lately. Yikes! Storm is joining the Avengers, and it gives her a milestone only Wolverine and Spider-Man have achieved. By joining the Avengers, Storm has joined an exclusive club featuring only Spider-Man and Wolverine. It was announced earlier this week that Marvel that Storm will be joining the Avengers roster, in addition to receiving her own solo series. In addition to the continuing character star presence for the publisher, the move could have major MCU implications. Storm's inclusion onto the Avengers roster makes it her the only third member or third hero behind Spider-Man and Wolverine to be a member of the Avengers, the X-Men, and the Fantastic Four, Marvel's top 3 teams, with Storm appearing to continue her upward trajectory of success and popularity. This is the perfect next step. Now, when it was first announced that she was going to be an Avenger, I was kind of like, okay, I guess. You know what I'm saying? That's going to be kind of odd, awkward, I guess, with Black Panther being on the team. But, maybe this is Marvel's way of getting them together. Who knows? I don't believe it. I'll have to see it before I believe it. But that's what they're going to do. So we'll see. What's going on, Bot Boy versus? See you. Appreciate you being here. So anyway, so it says here that Storm's status as one of Marvel's top strongest heroes and most popular characters is undeniable. And now the company has officially positioned her in the same rarefied air as two of its most endearing popular characters, Wolverine and Spider-Man. When you think about it, when you talk about Marvel characters, Wolverine and Spider-Man are probably the top two. I don't know anybody that's bigger, to be honest. But she's joining some exclusive company, and that's cool. And so, shout out to Storm. Says, will it be? Not tell him says, will it be short lived? Who knows? You know how they go. We can hope that it will be a good run, if that will. I'm just hoping that the solo Storm book that comes out, and we'll talk about that later, is a good book. But her joining the Avengers, okay. What's going to happen with the X? Well, I'll take it back. Now that because the X-Men solicits have not had Storm in it, and I guess they kind of had this in the works to transition or move her to the Avengers. So we'll see how it all plays out. I'm just ready for the X-Men universe to reset. Fall of X is dragging its feet. This thing should have been gone yesterday, but that's just my opinion. So anyway, y'all look forward to Storm being in the X-Men books pretty soon. The Laker says Storm-led X-Men should be leading the Avengers down the road if they know what they're doing. Yeah, well, now, her ex-husband used to lead the Avengers. So, like I said, it's going to be a little awkward. I don't know how they're going to navigate this, but we'll see. It's definitely going to be something that's going to have the Black Panther fans and the Storm fans talking. And I'm here for the chaos. So bring it on. With that said, we're going to go ahead and go to our next Screen Rant article. Marvel was long overdue to make Galactus absolutely terrifying again. So this article from Screen Rant is talking about the one shot by Jonathan Hickman and Sanford Greene, Doom, #1. And I just want to give you guys a brief paragraph of it. Then I'm going to give my thoughts about Doom because I don't want to spoil it for those who may have not read the book. So it says here that Marvel Comics has no shortage of terrifying villains that pose a threat not only to fan favorite superheroes, but to the whole Marvel universe. One of those villains is Galactus. When Galactus was introduced, it was perhaps the greatest example of cosmic horror and existential dread ever assigned to a Marvel villain at the time. However, the hopelessness that was initially synonymous with his arrival became greatly watered down over the years. At least now, until now, Galactus has finally returned to his former glory. Oh yeah, it gets very gully in the one shot. So here's the cool thing about that. We know that Galactus is going to show up in the Fantastic Four movie that's coming out in 2025. So that's going to be kind of cool. So let me just talk about Doom real quick. It's the one shot that Sanford Greene helped write and draw. Dope comic book. Let me just say that. Dope from the outset. Sanford Greene's art in this book is amazing. That guy's top notch. And to be honest, Jonathan Hickman, I was looking for a little bit more from Jonathan Hickman. I think he kind of played the background on this. But I'll be honest, they could have just let Sanford Greene just draw. They didn't even need no words because that guy's art speaks. But, it's a very, very good tale. And, Doom, we're talking about Doom. And so I just really enjoyed the story overall. If there was a real villain like Galactus, Galactus ain't no joke. You think Thanos was a problem? Galactus is going to be a problem. Shout out to the Fantastic Four and that movie they tried to do when they gave us a weird looking Galactus. He wasn't the Galactus they gave us in that movie. It was a terrible movie. Was not the Galactus that everybody was looking for. We're going to get that Galactus in this Fantastic Four iteration. Marvel, please don't screw this up because everybody's been waiting on that. that team to show up. But yeah, so Dr. Doom is in it, and Dr. Doom is pretty cool in the book. But don't get it twisted. This is really about Galactus, okay? Doom is getting a little help from Valeria Richards in the book, but don't get it twisted. This is about Galactus, okay? My man says, I'm just going to say Brother Green did all the work. Yeah, I just feel like this is a definitely a Sanford Green comic book, not a Jonathan Hickman and comic book. This is a Sanford Green comic book because I'm used to Jonathan Hickman being very, very wordy. I'm used to him like giving us some deep, deep things to kind of pull on to. If nothing else, I will say that what he did do was he gave us just a little meat on the bone. But the art is what speaks in this book. Yeah, they said they gave us a clap. The art is what speaks to this book. The art is amazing. We don't have no panels, but I don't want to spoil it for nobody, whatever. But go get the book. It's a one shot. It's amazing. I think you'll enjoy it. If you enjoy Sanford Green's art, you're gonna love this for sure. Paul says Marvel will likely use Thorne and the Avengers to further simp. Oh, here we go. Simp T'Challa by having Craig the corny dude, NASA guy, move in with it down the hall from T'Challa in the possible city. Well, whatever. Let's move on. This guy. So our next article is a bleeding cool article, okay? Marvel's new X-Force is like Warren Ellis's and John Carraday's Planetary. So talking to the Homo Sapien podcast, Marvel EVP and X-Men group editor Tom Brevoort talked about his opening X-Men from the Ashes line, including the X-Force series. And it's just not that DC Comics, which is doing Outside, as we know, has a take on Warren Ellis and John Cassidy's Planetary, published a quarter of a decade ago by DC Wildstorm. Brevoort states that X-Force, in terms of description, is closest to Warren Ellis's Planetary. On the surface, it looks like a typical X-Force team, traditionally defined as an X-Men's kill squad. I'm kind of the belief that the X-Men shouldn't have a kill squad, For all that, all the good guys go to Wolverine and say, hey, we're going to need you to get a bunch of guys and kill a bunch of people so our hands will be clean. And we can pretend to be moral and while knowing about it and sanctioning it. That doesn't make any sense to me. Anyway, X-Force is centered around Forge, and Forge has a vision, and it caused him to build something. The thing that he built predicts fracture points, moments and places in the world where a crisis is going to occur if something isn't done. Forge has assembled X-Force as the machine to deal with these crises. So the membership of who's in it, what they do and how they do it is all built almost on an unconscious level because it's the outgrowth of Forge's maker power to put together the right elements to deal with the situation. So this is going to be one of those books that's going to have guest appearances all over the place, okay? So in understanding that, he says also, will fairly routinely in that book have extra characters as guest appearances and hangers-on, and in the way that Deadpool's in the first issue. But there's a larger thing going on in that planetary sense. And not only Forge and the X-Men characters are getting involved in all these weird happenings in the world, but they begin to suspect a pattern or an excessive pattern behind them, the Da Vinci Code style. So this is going to be one of those, if you're looking for a bunch of action and that kind of thing, this is going to be a thinking book, okay? So have at it, guys. It's Geoffrey Thorne, so that's what's up. There's something bigger brewing behind all of that, and we'll slowly peel the onion back to get into. But, it's literally, they don't have a headquarters. The headquarters is a self-repairing Blackbird that they fly around in. They don't do the wheels down unless something's going on. They're just constantly on the go. So, yeah. So starting in January 2024, not January, July 2024, that book comes out. And so, yeah, y'all stay tuned. It's going to be dope. It's going to be dope. So next article is another Bleeding Cool article. We talked about Storm earlier. All right. So Bleeding Cool reports that Nigerian comic book writer Moreva Adole would be the writer of the new Storm series, just as the character is joining the Avengers. As part of the new From the Ashes relaunch of the X-Men line, Now Marvel Comics has confirmed the news, as well as announcing Lucas Wernock as the artist and Mateus Manahini as the cover artist for Storm 1, which will launch later in the year, in October, I should say. So here's the cool part about this particular book. This book is, I believe it's going to give Storm finally the run that we've all wanted. Now, there was a Storm run last year, I want to say, late last year, whatever, and it was a yawn. So the guys that are doing this book, these are the same guys that are working on the new title that's out, independent title, and that is what is it? Akugan, yeah, Akugan, Brutalizer of Gods. The same writers the same writer that's writing this book is the one that's going to be writing the Storm book. So from what we gather here, it says here is that set in the X-Men's highly anticipated Free from the Ashes era, Storm will be brought to life by Maruela Adelaide, the acclaimed writer behind Okugan, Brutalizer of Gods, who made his Marvel debut last year with Moon Knight, Black, White, and Red, and I Am Iron Man. So according to this, Storm has always been a prime protector of the planet, and with the loss of Krakoa, that position becomes more important than ever. From her new superhero headquarters, Storm begins making decisions that will forecast the future of Marvel Universe. Her bold actions will stir forces around and even beyond Earth, calling forth enemies that match her strength and determination. Storm has never needed a throne to rule the skies. Now watching awe in this new series elevates her to heights that only she can reach. It says here also that Aurora Monroe has lived many lives. She's been a thief, a goddess, an X-Men, a queen, and now an Avenger. She's the most prominent, most respected, most powerful mutant on the world stage, and in that role, she intends to be a force for positive change. And the first up is a major meltdown at the nuclear facility in Oklahoma City draws Storm away from her sanctuary in Atlanta. Okay, I like that. Into the more conflict will test her iron resolve. As one of the year's biggest launches, it'll be packed with guest stars, including Storm's fellow Avengers, X-Factor's Frenzy, and more. Yes, the Oregon team is writing it. Yes, they are. So, y'all stay tuned for that. It's going to be dope. But that doesn't come out until October. So please, pre-order your books, guys. Pre-order your books. Nightwatch says, historically, Storm books don't just sell. She's going to need another high-profile character or dope first appearance to carry that book. Possibly. But I think part of it is with her being a part of the Avengers, her profile I think it'll grow a little bit. It's all about the execution, I think, on it. We'll see, you know what I'm saying? Because you're right, the books don't normally sell. But I think the reason why the books don't sell is not because Storm isn't a capable character. They just haven't had capable writers on that book, respectfully. There have been writers on it that have been okay, but they're not writers that I would just want to, especially the book that came out last year. That book was a snooze fest. It was. There was no action in it. She was trying to figure out her life, leaving the X-Men alone. As to Paul's point, hanging out with Craig, the NASA dude. There's a lot going on, but it wasn't enough going on in her story arc that just that would cause a lot of people to go out and buy the book. It just was not a good book. So hopefully with this new writing team and the new artists or whatever, she'll get a good look and she'll get written, because we've talked about this. I really want to just see Storm in a book that just knocks people out. Okay, I just really want to see her just do her thing and don't get all deep, try to tell a dope, deep dive or whatever. Just let Storm bring the rain. Okay, let her bring the ruckus and we good. And Paul says BCL is interviewing Adelaide on June the 14th. Well, that's what's up. Looking forward to that for sure. So yeah. So with that said, y'all stay tuned for that comic book that's coming out. She's wearing that 97 costume. It will sell. Well, they supposedly giving her a new uniform. So we'll see. And tell him says X-Men Thread was thriving in my opinion, but that wasn't her book in her name though. Yeah, X-Men Red was good. Was a good book. I mean, Eve. I mean, not Eve. Uh, it's Ewing. Al Ewing. Al Ewing wrote that book, and I think Al Ewing wrote Sword as well. He's been the guy that's written Storm in a great positive light. He did not fetishize her. He actually just took what was available and just put her front stage like she's supposed to be. He didn't do anything profound or deep or whatever, but what he did something that these other writers didn't do, which was just let her be who she was. You know what I'm saying? I think Al Ewing was like Bill Belichick. You know, it's about, putting the person in the best position for them to succeed. That's what Al Ewing did. She's a more respected character because of his writing. And so I think that this will help promote her to even higher heights. So shout out to the new writing team and to the new artists that are going to be on that book. Looking forward to it. She says, what do you think needs to be done to gain new people's attention? As far as new people's attention, I don't think that that's going to happen. I'm going to be honest. I think that the Storm fans are the Storm fans. She has a cult following or a core following of fans that know her from X-Men and know her from the cartoons and stuff. And so the force to draw new people, that's going to be kind of hard. Marvel is having a hard time drawing new readers, period. And it's been because of the way they have marketed themselves, and again, Spider-Man don't have this issue. Wolverine don't have this issue. What's the problem? It's just that a lot of people are not buying her books because, again, you got to have talented writers. Wolverine has had good writers. Jason Aaron, he's had Jed McKay, he's had Victor Laval just recently. Wolverine has had some dope writers on writing his title. Spider-Man's the same thing. So people go to the shop and buy that book regardless of who's on it because they know that for the most part, historically, they've had good stories and have had good artists on them or whatever, and writers as well. So, you just they gotta make the investment. They don't make the investment, it's not gonna pop. Nightwatch said it would be a dope to have a Storm variant that's an homage to Spike Lee's She's Gotta Have It. Okay. That's all I'm gonna say about that. I know about She's Gotta Have It, but I just kind of I don't see it. No, Scientist Mini didn't interest me. Red Tide to the fair. I'm so glad this is coming out. Technically, X-Men Red, Resurrection of Magneto are her books. We're glad she has an official one on something. Yeah, she's had a lot of good. She's been in a lot of books, but she hasn't been in anything in her own title. Yeah. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and go to our next article, which is a comicbook.com article. I'm not going to go through the article itself, but this is an article talking about the 2024 Eisner nominees have been revealed. There's a lot of books that are being honored in the Eisners. Shout out to Rodney Barnes. He shouted out that Philadelphia was nominated for 2 awards, but it was more or less on Jason Sean Alexander's end that the books were being nominated for, not his writing. I think it's a travesty that Rodney Barnes' writing is not being championed or not being nominated by Eisner Award. He clearly is one of the better writers, and they keep, I don't know, they got some people just got a boner for Nightwing, I guess. They keep nominating that book for whatever reason. I don't know why. I hear nobody talking about it, but it gets nominated year after year. But anyway, sorry about that, guys. That was just me unfiltered. Okay. So in this particular Eisner year, 2024, these are the most notable mentions. For the best publication for teens is Lawrence Lindell's Blackwood. This is the book that kind of is, like I say, it's for teenagers. And I would say that it's for the LBGT community, more or less, because it's kind of geared toward, awkward, queer Black youth. But it was nominated, so I wanted to go ahead and bring it to you guys' attention. Now, as far as the best archival collection project, that was nominated. All Negro Comics, the 75th anniversary edition was nominated for that. And of course, the best academic scholarly work, The Segregating Comics, Debating Blackness in the Golden Age of American Comics, edited by Kiana Whitty, was nominated as well. So these are the top 3 Black, I would say, books, artists that were nominated for this year. There's literally 70, 80 people, but only 3 that really stood out to me, and that's kind of a shame. There may have been some others, but I weren't familiar with any of the things. A lot of the stuff that was on the Eisner list, I did not even know. I've never read, never saw them books. But yeah, one of the podcasts said Rodney was nominated 2 years in a row for Philadelphia and screwed over both times. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with them. But, again, thank God for award shows like the Glyph Awards that honor our books. So, but to get nominated by the Eisner is an industry nod, so we have to respect it. You know what I'm saying? So we need to make sure that we do our job and celebrate and honor those who have done good work. Frustrated says Philadelphia Mandalorian were great. Harriet Tubman should have been nominated as well. Yeah. Robin Monroe says, I'm surprised that the Bungleton Green book wasn't nominated. No, it wasn't. Like I said, it was slim pickings, y'all. And that was a long article. But that was the only thing that I was able to extrapolate out of that whole article that were our books, if that makes any sense. So, yeah. So with that said, guys, we're going to go ahead and take a commercial break. When we come back, I am going to talk about my faith in comics. And what I mean by that is, as a person who is a Christian and likes to read comic books, and this is my hobby, there are books that I have read over the years that, have or include my religious faith. And so I'm just going to talk, a little bit about these books. And most of these books, I would say 90% of these books are written, drawn by Black artists. So when we come back, we're going to talk about my faith in comics, and maybe you guys will pick up some stuff. Maybe you'll learn something. I don't know. But either way, we're going to take a quick commercial break. We're going to come right back. So stay tuned.
What's good, comic fam? I'm pretty sure you guys are familiar with Concrete Comics, and I'm also pretty sure you guys are familiar with Freestyle Comics. Well, what if I told you they were partnering together and give you guys an amazing promo code? So listen, here's the deal. You go to any one of these websites, you're going to save 20% off by using this promo code. Now, if you spend more than $50, you're going to get free shipping. You can't beat this. And when I talk to you about industry standard or better storylines and art, I mean, you're really not beating Freestyle Comics. You're definitely not beating Concrete Comics. Listen, this is not a sponsorship. I've literally read all of these books and they're fire. So stop crying and start buying. Concrete Comics, Freestyle Comics, joining forces. Make sure you use this promo code. You're going to get 20% off. You spend more than $50, you're going to get free shipping. We out.
We back. So yeah. Shout out to my man Herschel. Shout out to Concrete Comics. Freestyle Comics. Yeah, guys, if you want to pick up some dope books and get a cool discount for it, go to the website, go to YouTube, and check out the link there, or go to our webpage on Black Comic Lords. Pick up some dope books. Concrete is no joke. I have yet to read anything from Freestyle, but I can definitely speak about Concrete for sure. So, yeah, y'all go get that. So with that said, guys, I want to go ahead and just transition and talk about a subject that I've been wanting to talk about for a while. I think it was Brooklyn that asked me, did I read religious comics? And if so, what did I read? What's going on, JT? Good to see you, sir. So I've been reading, religious comic books since I was kind of little, whether it was the Archie, stuff, Christian comics. And I'll be honest with you, a lot of it in the very, very beginning of it is kind of like I liken it to Christian hip hop in the 90s, in the 80s, and it was just not that good. And but with all things, whatever, if you're going to be around or whatever, your skill level and your message has to be crafted such to where it's palatable, where it's entertaining, as well as informative, that kind of thing. People created religious comics historically for different reasons. They were used as tracts. They were used to help people come to faith. And again, there's different things. I've never looked at most religious comics that way. I've always been one to like, okay, I don't mind a message, but just don't make it too preachy, if that makes any sense. Make it relatable so that it's palatable to anyone that can read it. You may not necessarily have to be a believer to enjoy it. But there's some dope stuff out here, guys. And so tonight I want to just talk about a few books that I have enjoyed that are by Black artists. Okay, that book there that you see on the screen, the Lion comic book Hero Bible, is written or drawn by Sika and Richard Thomas. Sika is a African artist. Richard Thomas is a Black American artist, and they did this book here. And basically, the comic book characters, or not the comic book, the Bible characters are drawn in kind of like superheroes. And this is something that's geared to, I would say, teenagers or whatever, teens, late teens, early 20s maybe. It's a pretty cool book. Younger kids can check it out or whatever. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? I think we got another page, if I'm not mistaken, from it. I tried to give a page or two of some of the art and some of what it looks like on the inside. As you can see, lots of melanin in the book, not whitewashed at all. And like I said, these are Black artists that did this book. And this is a commercial book. It's not a book that just, you hide and you can go get this out of the stores. Okay, so, but it covers a lot of the Bible extensively. And, it's just little dope things to have. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I like to read about my faith in the graphic novel sense. But no. Now, Manifest say, white Jesus? No, that's not in that. No, sir. No, sir. No, sir. So anyway, so we got that, right? And this next book I want to show you guys is interesting. Clint D. Johnson is a artist, writer. He has a character called Faith Walker. This is a book that was written or created by Clint D. Johnson to help teenagers, young believers, enjoy their faith in a graphic novel setting. He's written a number of books. This book here, The Footsteps of Matthew Cross, it's kind of like an anthology. It's got different stories. It's like 4 or 5 stories in this volume of book. And again, it's a pretty good book, man. It's entertaining. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of, he's a hero. He just happens to be a Christian. And, it's not cheesy at all. I will say that it's very, very dope. And a cool side note, and you can go to the next panel there to show there's another book I want to show you. This book here, Faith Walker, First Watch, The Art of Warfare. And that's like I would say a superhero team, mostly Black characters there. And he kind of leads that team. And so it's pretty cool. Pericles says that Jesus on that cover, you mean? I wouldn't say that he's white Jesus. It's not blonde and blue-eyed Jesus. Might be a little light-skinned, but no, he's not white Jesus. All of that, and that's what you get out of that, bro. Really? Nah, come on. Stop that. Y'all gonna stop that. Yeah. Go back to the slide there. So the cool part about this particular character is that this character was on the cover of War of the Independence issue 2. That cover, of course, we know was drawn by Larry Stroman from Tribe. Faith Walker is right there next to Dreadlocks. You see Dreadlocks in the, he said, Elder Bars Jesus. I can't take you nowhere in Manifesto. There's Dreadlocks right there. And there to the right of him is Faith Walker. And so he has that distinction of being in this particular book. And so I thought I would bring that out and show you guys that that's one character that, you know, y'all, nobody, all of these characters, and we know some of these characters, but we don't know all these characters. So when I first got my War of Independence book, I just happened to notice him and found out that's who he was. That Clint D. Johnson, that was his character that he loaned for this particular book. So yeah, and he's in the book too. So yeah. So with that said, the next book I want to show you guys is a science fiction. This is a biblical story written in a science fiction lens. This book is called Dominion, Fall of the House of Saul. Manifesto asks, what comic company is Dreadlocks? I don't have that info in front of me. However, I'm sure we can track it down. But Dreadlocks has been around. You can probably Google him and get the information as far as where you can get that book. I mean, his books. That guy's very active. The guy that I do know that is created Dreadlocks. He's always around. But let me get back to this. So this book here, Dominion, The Fall of the House of Saul, is actually the story of King Saul. If you know the Bible story, the God's people, the Israelites, wanted a king. They were governed by the Lord, but they wanted God to give them a king. And because they saw all of the people around them with kings. So they wanted one too. So he appointed a king, and he called his name was Saul. And so, of course, Saul, like all kings or whatever, does some dirty stuff. and so what happens is God commissions him or tells him, gives him a commandment to wipe out a people. And he doesn't follow through. They take the spoils of the war, which is what was he supposed to do. So for that, because of his disobedience, God took the kingdom from him and appointed David to be king of Israel. Now, in this particular book, like I said, it's written from a science fiction lens, and it's anthropomorphic. If I'm saying it wrong, but basically the characters are all animals. Dr. Deron Bell is the artist on this book. Okay. And he's a brother, and that guy's got skill. And there's like 3 volumes of this particular book. And this is just the first volume here. Terminus Media is the company that puts this book out. And if you've been around any of the Christian comic book spaces or whatever, you've seen that company before. They put this book out. And like I said, it's like 3 volumes of this book. This is just the first volume. And it just covers the whole story of Saul and his son, Jonathan, and Jonathan's relationship with David. And so it's pretty cool. It's a little different. Like I said, it's a scientific twist. It's a story that takes place out in space. You know what I'm saying? So it gets really fun. It's a real fun story. He says, now, does David dance in the story, OG? No, I don't think he dances in the story. he doesn't dance in the story, OG. He doesn't dance with me. No. So yeah, so that's a dope book. So, you know, again, that's a book you could check out. Art is very, very stellar, I think. Definitely industry standard for sure. So with that being said, the last book I want to show you is not a Black creator, but this is one of my favorite Christian books. C.S. Lewis, if you know anything about C.S. Lewis is an apologist, but he's also an incredible writer. He wrote the book, the Chronicles of Narnia. His most famous book is The Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe, which is the first volume of the Chronicles of Narnia. But he wrote a book called The Screwtape Letters. And The Screwtape Letters is an interesting book in that it is a book about a demon mentoring a junior demon. And their talks are about how to get a human being to fall into sin. And it's about this junior demon trying to get this human being to fall into sin. And it's a very, very entertaining story. But Marvel Comics did a graphic novel of this story. So it's one of my favorite C.S. Lewis books. Nice Watch says C.S. Lewis is the GOAT. Yes, absolutely. And so they did this, and that book ain't cheap. I'll just say it like that. You can't go to eBay and find that book for $5. Now, you're gonna pay some bread if you want that book, and it's very rare. It's a few copies, I think you can, but you're gonna pay pay a little cost for the graphic novel. Another graphic novel that they did was the Pilgrim's Progress. That's another book. But if you are a C.S. Lewis person like me, this is a must-have for your collection. So I just wanted to mention that this is my favorite graphic novel, Christian graphic novel, because I really thoroughly enjoy C.S. Lewis. So yeah, so I just wanted to share those books, man. You know what I'm saying? I read a lot of comic books. I read a lot of stories, and the truth be told, like I said, comics is the only hobby that I have. And so I read a lot of, because I'm in seminary as well. So I read a lot of theology. I read a lot of, I do a lot of studying, and I minister and preach and teach the word, almost every Sunday. So comics kind of like that get away from me. But if I want to kind of like, just being entertained by on a Christian side or whatever, then these are some of the books that I go to enjoy and read. So yeah. So hopefully you got something out of that. The War of Independence nod to Faith Walker, I thought was kind of dope. I wanted to share that. So yeah, faith is around, guys. So, as history is all that book there, when you understand some of the characters that are part of that book, I think that book is very, very underrated. One of the better Black comic books in our space. And I had to bump my head behind this book because I originally did not know the value of this book until I actually, one, considered what was before me, and two, did the research on it. So yeah. He said, Mike Watson, I'm buying that Screwtape Letters comic tonight. Well, that's what's up. I mean, what I'm saying? I think that you guys would enjoy it. You know what I'm saying? This is the last religious-based comic I read was American Jesus. That was an insane story. I have to definitely check out some of these. Yeah, well, you really can't call American Jesus a religious. That was chaos. That was some crazy stuff in that particular book. I think it was Mark Millar. I'm not sure who the writer is on that, but yeah, that's kind of out there for sure. So anyway, Dr. says comics is a great hobby to have. Absolutely. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and transition, and we're gonna take a commercial break. And when we come back, we're gonna talk about Blade and Blood Hunt a little bit. And after we talk about Blade and Blood Hunt, we're gonna get into chat talk tonight. So y'all stay tuned, get you a drink, restroom break, whatever. Come right back. We're gonna get into it about the Daywalker. Stay tuned.
Dear Mr. Billy Graham, I know this letter is late, but you know what they say, better late than never. And I'm writing to you because I know you'll never read this or hear this. It's a measure of therapy for me, I guess. Wondering how you never get mentioned when you are really only one of the few worth mentioning. After all, I don't think Sam and Dave had you in mind, but without question, you are a soul man. How else can you explain how a man can draw tears so well if he never shed any tears of his own? Yes, and I hear music, especially drums, when I see jungle action panels. And when I see Luke Cage panels, I hear the jukebox blaring out horns in the after hours joint. I guess I'm trying to say, Mr. Graham, that I dig your style, and you deserve to be celebrated like the heroes you drew. And like I said, you won't see or hear this, but I'm gonna say it anyway. Thank you, Mr. Billy Graham. You are a Black history legend. Respectfully, the Black Comic Lords. If you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Until next time, peace.
This documentary going on right now, it'll be like going in the past and getting the Harlem Renaissance, capturing that on film in the beginning.
What's important about this film is you are documenting exactly all aspects of how that is affecting this industry. Start talking about, the whole collection process. You're talking about fans, you're talking about collectors, you're talking about investors, you're talking about the producers, the workers. What you're capturing here is going to be important years after we're gone, because I think your film is going to show a side of this that nobody ever thought about. And it's taken all this long to actually put this level of commitment into what you're trying to show. People are going to be shocked. Oh, there's that many Black people that are into this, and they spend this, and this business is this big. I'm honored to be a part of it. Larry's honored to be a part of it. This is going to be.
What I was doing is whatever I worked on, I added Black characters into I'd stick them in the background. That's how I started doing all the crowd scenes. I'm gonna have somebody Black in this somewhere.
Have you ever wanted to read a story with a poetic musical twist? Batman Jazz is that John, written by Gerard Jones and illustrated by Mark Badger. The story is about a legendary jazz musician and his desire to play jazz when and where he wants to. There are lots of twists and turns in this story, but suffice to say that Bluebird, who the story is about, shares more than his love for jazz, but he makes a point to teach Batman a thing or two. It's a great story. It's gritty, it's poetic, it's reflective. It's aptly titled Batman Jazz. It's a 3-issue mini. I'm sure you will enjoy it. It'll be a welcome addition to your collection. And please, if you like this video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, and thank you for listening. Peace.
What up? Yeah, man. Shout out to Black Comic Lords and all of our squad. DJ Big Phil. And man, that Batman Jazz, I'm about to go back and reread that. I definitely enjoyed that story for sure. So God's verse, I think it was a manifesto actually. Did you like Book of Clarence? Well, here's the thing about the Book of Clarence. I think that it was cool. But the funny thing is that, it's kind of like, it was all based on, 5% philosophy or 5%, religion. And for the quote unquote guys that don't know who 5%ers are, who Clarence 13X is, it kind of went over a lot of people's head. You know what I'm saying? But for those of us that do know or have been exposed to the 5%, Earths and Gods teachings, Gods and Earth's teaching, I should say. It was okay for what it was, because that's the thing. I mean, when people understand who was behind it, it really was a nod to that philosophy, and it was cool. You know what I'm saying? But it didn't really do a whole lot, because I think, one, it was an independent book, independent movie, and it got I would say, a bad rap, in the sense that it was kind of viewed as sacrilegious. You know, given the subject matter and given who the guy was trying to follow, was kind of, a lot of people was like, no. But for those of us that knew, you know what I'm saying, it was like, I got it. You know what I'm saying? That was the thing. It would be different if you didn't know. If you didn't know, then you would go to the theaters and say, oh, that was different. And that was the point, that it is different. So yeah. Nightwatch said the Book of Clarence was horrible. I took it for what it was, if that makes any sense. I didn't go around telling a lot of people about it or whatever, or say, man, you need to go see this. I just kind of like, oh, okay, I see you working. So yeah, but that was my thoughts about it. 80s, 90s hip hop was my introduction to 5% ideology, Rakim, BDK. So it was better than those Magical Negroes. Oh, definitely. Amir, you cannot get your, 90 minutes or however long? You can't get that time back, bro. Can't get that time back. You can't get that time back. Sorry about that. You can't get it back. But anyway, so yo, let's okay, say I didn't see it. I mean, you check it out when it comes to stream or whatever. I think that if you know something about the 5% religion, then I think you'll be able to connect the dots, because that's the thing. It's about connecting the dots to really get an understanding of it or whatever. So it can be viewed, a number of different ways. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, it's not for the quote unquote mainstream. It was never. I don't think it was done with that purpose. But yeah. The BCL is such a great committee. Y'all chat, hip hop, y'all chat included, hit me to so much. Yeah, that's what's up. He says it's on Frustrated says it's on Netflix now. Okay. That goes to show you how much I don't even go to Netflix hardly no more. I stay on Tubi. Tubi's free. Anyway, I have Netflix though. It's the wife's. It's her stream service. I do more Amazon Prime and Disney, Hulu. That's kind of my genre. So yeah. So anyway, I want to get into Blood Hunt tonight. Not the specifics of Blood Hunt, but the source of Blood Hunt. We kind of been going over this the last couple of weeks. He said, "Don't get on here selling blood." I'm not here to sell Blood Hunt books, bro. I'm not getting on here to sell Blood Hunt books. I will say this, that Blade is the first character. I know Paul told me don't put it out there like that, but suffice to say, there hasn't been a black character, who's had a major crossover event in comics that I'm aware of. This is the first one. It happens to be Blade. Blade is a character that we enjoy, whether we discovered the Blade in the movie theater through Wesley Snipes, Amin-Ra Productions. He gets credit for being the one who helped start or generate the cash to start the MCU. Or if you were a hardcore comic head and just happened to enjoy Dracula, Tomb of Dracula in particular, that may have been your introduction that way. Either way, Blade is a dope vampire slayer. It's a dope Marvel character. So tonight we're going to talk a little bit about his story. His first appearance is there. Tomb of Dracula issue 10. Yeah, salute to all of you guys that have the original printing of that book. That book is very hard to get at a decent price. I have the reprint, and I'm not going to apologize for that because that first appearance of Blade in Tomb of Dracula number 10 is kind of high. Yeah. Frustrated says, but isn't it ironic that he has to be a bad guy for that to happen? He's the Denzel Washington of Marvel. Well, here's the thing: we don't know. We don't know if he seems to be the bad guy right now in the Blood Hunt story. He seems to be the reason why all the vampires are going crazy, right? But we don't really know what we haven't found out what his modus operandi is, why he's doing what he's doing, why he turned out the lights or turned out the sun so these vampires can run roughshod. We don't know why. We haven't got that yet. So we'll see. But right now, it looks suspect. Paul says, shh, we have eyes and our space. I'm not worried about them. He said, I found about Tomb of Dracula 30 years ago in a mall for $5. Wow. That's crazy. That's crazy. And the first solo story, Blade story, is that book there, Vampire Tales number 8. That's the first Blade solo story. That goes for a little bread too. You know, it's not as high as the Tomb of Dracula, but it goes for a little bread too. It comes up every now and then. It's not something that you can just go to the eBay machine and just, you know, buy. I mean, you can, but that book is sometimes that book disappears, and sometimes you'll see 2 or 3 for sale, and then you may not see none for a while. So that's the first Blade story that takes place in that book there. Jared says, get the Blade early years omnibus. Those issues are in it. Yes, there's a number of books that you can get. You don't necessarily have to get the omnibus, the Blade omnibus. There is Marvel has a horror, couple of horror volumes where they have the early Blade stuff in it, some of the Tomb of Dracula stuff in it, Werewolf by Night in it. But you know, Blade definitely has. He's in a couple of omnibuses, if that makes any sense. And you know, there's some stuff where they're talking about Ghost Rider, Doctor Strange. He's in a lot of different books. JT says, I'm rolling with Blade, bad guy or not, say hi to the bad guy. Yeah, that's what's up. So yeah. So, you know, he has those 2 books that's like his first main stories. Then of course there is the Marvel Preview presents Legion of Monsters. Vampire, now here's the thing. Tomb of Dracula came out in 1973. Vampire Tales came out in 1974. Marvel Preview presents Legion of Monsters number 8. It came out in 1976. Okay. Yeah. Pericles says, I'm guessing that, bring that back up. I'm guessing Blade is possessed by Varney. Possibly, we don't know yet. We don't know yet. I'm not even messing with the solicit stuff because the solicit always spoil it, you know. And again, to Amir's point, there's a lot of Blood Hunt books to go get. You know, so we'll find out soon enough. Smoother Person said, first heard of Blade during the Spirit of Vengeance in the 90s. And one of the books that came out along that time was the Night Stalkers book. Night Stalkers came out in 1992. That's a teen book with Hannibal King and a few others, I believe. But he was featured in that book as well. There's Blade the Vampire Hunter, with the first volume of Blade that came out in 1994. Blade Volume 1 came out in 97. There's a one-shot, Blade Crescent City Blues, came out in 1998. Frustrated says, I love Blade and the original Midnight Suns. I feel like that was his best stories. And then there's a Blade Vampire Hunter Volume Number 2 that started in 1999 to 2000. Then there's Blade Volume 3, which came out in 2006. It was around that time when the movie came out, I think. No, it wasn't. I think that was Blade Crescent City Blues. I'm sorry. Blade Volume 5, which came out last year, that Brian Edward Hill did. The Doctor Strange Blood Hunt gives more context. Yes, that's a good book to have for sure. I have it, and that was one of the tie-ins I did have to buy. One of the guys at my shop convinced me to get the Amazing Spider-Man book because it's a Misty Knight centered story. So that's 3 issues. So I'm going to go ahead and get that. So yeah. So Blade's been around quite a while, guys. And the funny thing is that Brian Edward Hill's run led right into this. And so this is kind of cool just to see this character get some shine, man. Blade's a dope character. We talked just recently about him being British, because Wesley Snipes did not do a British accent when he did the movie. But and by and large, they've kind of ignored his British roots. But this movie that they're doing, I'm not sure what direction they're going to go in. It's kind of weird, man. We might get some of Blood Hunt in the movie. Wouldn't that be interesting? Because Paul is always talking about how Marvel Studios is manipulating stuff. So we'll see. He says, not the LCL sweet talking, more Blood Hunt. Yeah, man. They was like, the guy can't. I'm sure how he played me. Okay, first he put the book in my box because I guess he figured that I would be interested in it. So I was like, I'm not getting this. I don't know why. He said, oh, it's a Mr. Knight story. It's like, what? It's Mr. Knight. So I'm like, so I turned the pages in it. Okay. She's in it heavily. So yeah. Frustrated says, UK Marvel didn't even have a title for him. Well, that's the thing. I mean, it's not, I don't know. Cool thing about Marvel UK is they had plenty of black characters in their books. Black X, which featured Black Panther, matter of fact. And I think in Deathlock, I want to say, yeah. We'll see. So anyway, yeah, man, I just wanted to just talk about Blade a little, briefly, and just hit to some comic book history with this character. You know what I'm saying? So you can go, if you can't get Tomb of Dracula, you can find the Marvel preview books and the Vampire Tale books for a little cheaper. But yeah, so Blade's a dope character. He's in a lot of books, a lot of stories or whatever. So yeah, it's a dope character. JT says Blade Red Band Blood Hunt 2 comes out this week. Can't wait. Yep. Y'all gonna be in the shops this summer. Y'all can't say y'all ain't got nothing to read. It's going down. Shout out to DC, who's trying to reload on the DC versus vampires train. They see the success of Blood Hunt, and they trying to run it back. So I don't know. It was pretty good, but I don't know if it's going to beat Blood Hunt. Blood Hunt is still early, but we'll see. I'm waiting for that Black Panther book. If that Black Panther Blood Hunt book is fire, man, crazy. Blade early years Omni is the best bet if anyone wants an alternative to hunting for single key issues. Yep. Scott Caesar, you out of line. I just hope there's some decent separation between Blade, the video game, and GTA 6. Otherwise, the momentum crushing would be worse than what Kendrick did to the Canadian colonists. Ouch. You know what? I have not made a comment on the shenanigans that is Kendrick and Drake. And I guess the reason why I have not made a comment is because I don't even really know what was the point. What was the point of all that? What was the point of all that mudslinging? What was the point? You know, I mean, you call this dude a pedophile, a Chester. That's serious, bro. Somebody call you a child molester or a pedophile, bro. That ain't gangster at all. And yeah, shout out to Diddy. Y'all still gonna be rocking. I told you that we won't stop. Y'all still gonna be. Y'all still gonna be rocking them Diddy joints. Diddy a savage. That was crazy what he did. That was crazy what he did. Yeah. Sorry. And I'm not for one to cancel nobody, but bro, that was brutal. Terrence say Drake is Casper Cole. Kendrick needs to be quiet. What up? Gaming while it's hot with the super chat. Thank you, sir. Appreciate for the content. Yeah. Salute.
Donation. It's a donation. I thought it was the trash. Don't be hitting on me.
Thank you.
Woo. Yep. Thanks again for the super chat. Yeah. 30 DJ Big Phil said DC versus Vampires been in the works, and that first series was crazy. Marvel playing catch up. But I do like Blood Hunt a lot. Yeah. We'll see. We'll see. Scott sees that Diddy got that bunker next to Uncle Rush. I can't take y'all nowhere. We're going to transition to chat talk. We're going to talk about what you guys want to talk about. What are your thoughts, questions, comments, or concerns? Yeah. So what's on you guys' mind? Let's see. 1 in 100 podcast says Ultimate BP issue 4 is out this week. Yeah, it's a dope. This is gonna be a dope summer, y'all. Can't front. X-Force back when it was only Cannonball, Thunderhawk, Meltdown, and Bedlam was a thinking book too. Let's see. You know what? Thinking about speaking on that, we were talking about the X-Force book, and that book is kind of like the Outsiders book that's out. And, you know, everybody's comparing it to Planetary. This here is the first, this is Planetary issue 1. This book here, that's the book that basically they're saying that the X-Force book and the Outsiders book is based on. But this is issue number 1. You can find this in a dollar bin. So, yeah. Shout out to Warren Ellis. So, yeah. But, yeah, man. What's on your mind? So, Marvel getting my money this week, patiently waiting for X-Men 97 Season 2. What did I think of the Wicked trailer? I have not seen it. I got to watch it. I have not seen it. I have not seen it. Bad Boy versus. I'm looking forward to meeting Rodney Barnes at Heroes Con in Charlotte, North Carolina next month. That's what's up. Manifesto said Cannonball should have teamed up with Speedball before he became Permanence. Yeah. Sukuma. Hey, I look forward to Epiphany Engine with the super chat. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Yes, appreciate you. Epiphany Engine, the Kickstarter will take place next month. We're working out details, and we're going to help with the Kickstarter. I can't talk details except to say that the Kickstarter is next month, and when we get more information, we'll let you guys know how you guys can be a part of this amazing project. Shout out to Tony Cottrell and his creative artists, writing, cover team, the whole ball of wax. It's gonna be dope. Frustrated says they have Ara Grande playing Glinda the Good Witch, the chick who played Harriet Tubman playing the Wicked Witch of the West. Okay. So I guess, well, you know what? I think I saw that. If that's the same trailer, I saw that like in the theater. What was I going to see? I was going to see something. I saw the trailer in the theater, but I forgot that that's what it was for. It was for Wicked. So yeah, I'll eventually watch it. I don't know if I'm gonna go to the theaters and see it. If the missus wants to go see it, I'll probably go see it. I want to go see the new Planet of the Apes movie, but I just have not wanted to lock myself down because that movie's 2.5 hours. I can't do the 2.5 hour movie. It depends on the content, I guess. I guess I could do 2.5 hours, but movies are starting to be too long, man. 90. What happened to the 90-minute movie? Get in, get out. My popcorn is still warm when I leave the theater. 1 in 100 podcast says Green Lantern War Journal is ending at issue 12. Yeah, I figured as much. Watch Civil War movie. That movie was amazing. Yeah, I did say they tried to flip it, make the Wicked Witch the tragic, magical Negro revolutionary hero. Yeah. 1 in 100 podcast, my popcorn will be gone when I leave. It depends, man. If the movie's dope, it'll be gone. But sometimes it depends on how bored I am or how excited I am in the theater. Brooklyn says Aurora is one of my favorites, but she has to be humble for lying to Queen Mother, beating down on Wakandan guard, and frying Shuri. This can't be overlooked like Americans do. Shout out to Brooklyn for bringing up Marauders 13. Shout out to Vita Ayala for traumatizing a lot of Black Panther fans with that book, bro. Yeah. Phil says, if a movie is under 2 hours, I feel cheated. Really? It depends, man. It depends on what the movie is. If it's a dope movie, I'm in there, man. But sometimes these movies be way too long than they have to be. So that's why I have not sat down to watch Oppenheimer. I want to watch it. Oppenheimer is the movie about the guy who invented the atomic bomb. But it's like a 3-hour movie. And I don't know if I want to commit 3 hours of sitting and watching a movie about somebody blowing up, Japan. is one of the podcasts. The Batman was like 4 hours. Well, that movie was a little bit too long. That was long in the tooth. I enjoyed it for what it was. That scene with the Batmobile flying through the ball of fire, that was worth the price of admission. But yeah, that movie was a little long, a little too long. He said, "Don't do it." Somebody don't do it, Paul. I mean, look, Brooklyn brought it up. I didn't bring it up. He brought it up. He said that got to be answered for. I just gonna act like Shuri and Storm good. I guess they are. So, do you fall asleep midway through? Man. Okay, so I can see white folks commit terror in a far less amount of time. Yeah. I'm getting old now that I'm doing Dune 2 and Planet of the Apes. Yeah, bro, you get old, man. They just ain't got the energy like that no more. You have to drink a full, you have to drink a monster before you go to the theater. I fell asleep in some theater, in some movie theaters. If the movie ain't, man, I lay back in that lazy boy and just gone into the credits. Manifesto said Planet of the Apes was long for no reason. It was whack. Okay, maybe I will save my money. But he says Dune was engaging through and long for a reason. Yeah. Dune was epic. I could have sat in the theater even longer. Yeah. OG, have you read Kaya by Wes Craig? I have read the first 3-4 books of Kaya. And I just did not. It was okay. It was cool, you know what I'm saying? But I guess more than anything, I kind of looked at it almost like, even though it wasn't the same, but I kind of saw, it had elements of Eve that Victor Laval wrote. That's kind of like, maybe I was maybe seeing the same thing. It just didn't grab my attention. The book is still, they still putting the book out. So I think it's up to like issue 7 or 8, I think. Yeah. Dune 2 was the best movie I've seen this year. It was that good, y'all. Was it better than Godzilla -1? Because that the movie, bro. Scott C says, I had to take a break doing Killers of the Flower Moon, Heavy Material. Shame the focus was almost entirely on them folks and their deviltry. Good film though. Yeah. That's I can't do the long movies no more. I just, I think Scott Snyder, no, I'm not Scott Snyder, Zack Snyder. I think he traumatized me with the 4-hour Justice League movie, the Snyder Cut. So I have not been the same since. And so I just refuse to watch him. I mean, look, if you got 20 pounds of material and you're trying to stuff it in a 10-pound bag, that's not good. So didn't see the Godzilla -1. Wish they would release it on streaming. I think it's coming to streaming pretty soon. Yeah, man, that was a dope movie. That was a dope movie. And they made that movie for $15 million. So shout out to them. So Christopher Priest got a nomination for Superman Lost. Yeah. Okay. That wasn't Eisner, was it? Because I don't recall seeing it for Eisner. Any interest in the new Bad Boys? Should be called Miami Midlife Crisis at this point. I'm just not interested in Bad Boys, period. I didn't even watch the last Bad Boy. Bad Boys for Life. I haven't seen it. I have not seen it. I mean, I just, some stuff is just like, what, y'all stop. Stop at 2 or 3 or how many, but don't keep going. I mean, I just saw the last Fast X movie, the last Vin Diesel, Tyrese, Ludacris Fast movie. I just saw that like last week at the house. And the only reason why I saw it because it was on streaming. So I just, you can only do so many movies, with same content or whatever. It just, yeah. So. Okay, he says it was for the Eisner. I mean, it was a cool, wow. It was a cool story, the Superman Lost story. I enjoyed it. Was it Eisner worthy though? I don't know about that. Maybe I'm biased because I want Rodney Barnes to be nominated. She said, "What are you out of line, Amir?" So I love the Bad Boys franchise. Now Fast and Furious should be called Slow and Retire. Then Diesel say, y'all gonna keep getting these movies. Y'all keep going to the theaters. I'm gonna keep making these movies. Zell Ray says Will Smith should have made another Hancock film instead of Bad Boys. Yeah. I have zero interest to go see Bad Boys, at all. And from what I understand, Martin Lawrence has been, dealing with some health issues, and so it's kind of one of those things where, do I really want to go to the theaters to see something like this? I'm gonna wait to see. I'm gonna see it, but like I said, I didn't even see the last one. I haven't even. And the last movie, the Bad Boys for Life, I think it's available through one of my streaming services, but I hadn't even. I have zero interest in seeing it. It's like, why? Awesome Sauce Radio says, "What's up? Happy Sandy. Appreciate you." Chicago Vegas says Bears versus Texas September 15th. Shout out to Lovey Smith, former Bears and Texas head coach, but you got a squad over there. Yes, absolutely. Shout out to my man, my Texans throw my what they call it, thing, throwaway or whatever blanket, little mini blanket. Yeah, I'm looking forward to. That's what I'm waiting. I'm waiting on football season. We are locked and loaded. We got some more. CJ Stroud got some more weapons. Yeah, we coming. If our defense get in place, oh, it's a wrap. We're gonna terrorize the whole NFL. It ain't gonna be close. Because that dude's money. That dude is money. He did stuff as a rookie he had no business doing. I'm like, are we looking at another Patrick Mahomes type dude? Because he got that kind of skill set. And then they just gave him another weapon. Stephon Diggs. The AFC South in trouble. That's all I can say. What up? What up? What up? It's bad boys and bad old men. Oh man. So yeah, I mean that's listen, you go to the well so many times, man, it gets to you. It's like, okay, why am I watching this? Why am I going to the theater to see this? I'm like, I have zero interest. Scott Caesar says, can someone explain DC's obsession with Harley Quinn? She's utterly useless, but constantly in books and cartoons. Meanwhile, Vixen is still in titties chunks. I can't stand DC. Well, I think that Harley Quinn is a cartoon creation, and so she became popular in the cartoon. And the Batman cartoon, of course, is amazing. So she kind of was a part of that. And so you see this ditzy girl who's in love and obsessed with the Joker. So from that standpoint, it's like, oh, it's kind of cute, you know what I'm saying, to see somebody fawning over Joker like that. Now, what has been the obsession of late? I just think that there are a lot of young ladies, preteens, teenagers, whatever, that like Harley Quinn. They're the ones that go buy these books. I see them in the comic shops. They like Harley Quinn. So that's how that go. One podcast says, woo, the Nuggets took it. Oh yeah, they lost by what, 45? They got the brakes beat off of them. Like, yeah. So what up with the new Beverly Hills Cop trailer? Eddie is aging gracefully. Yeah, Eddie is. Shout out to Eddie Murphy, man. He has managed to stay relevant by not, over. I will say he doesn't. He doesn't put himself out there too much. He doesn't saturate the market with his presence. I think that's been the secret sauce for Eddie Murphy. Everybody knows that Eddie's been around. He does things, whatever. He's at the stage of his career where he can do what he wants. He ain't got to do nothing. That's why when he did the Coming to America 2, even the Beverly Hills Cop, he's doing it through streaming services. He's not hurting for no bread or whatever, you know what I'm saying? And he's just doing things for fun. I mean, when he did the Mr. Church, I thought that was one of the most entertaining Eddie Murphy movies. It's not funny at all. It's actually a 100% drama. No humor in that movie at all, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. So he's been able to age gracefully because he doesn't, he ain't Kevin Hart in the game, if that makes any sense. So he's not in every movie, and even when he was popping like that, he wasn't in everything. I think he had maybe a year or two where he did that, but for the most part, he's been able to space out his projects to where they've been very, very acceptable. You know what I'm saying? Whether it was his daddy daycare stuff, the clump stuff, which was hilarious. Yeah, that dude's a go for real. So Vixen ain't gonna be in Diddy Dungeon though. No. 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 Says after Dolomite, I feel Eddie is around at least a little more. I mean, yeah. I mean, I just think that he, that dude takes his time, and so he, he's, he's one of the greatest for a reason. The Bad Boys without Teresa Randall. Come on, man. I think I don't know if she was sick or something happened with her that why she wasn't in the movie. I mean, I don't know. I don't like say, I stopped the Bad Boy stuff. I've had no interest in it for the longest or whatever, so. Tower Heights was dope. It was. I do remember seeing Tower Heights. Still in a big old car on top of a skyscraper. That was entertaining. Botboy versus says Eddie Murphy turned down Ghostbusters in 1984 to star in Beverly Hills Cop. Well, you know what? That wasn't a bad decision. Funny thing is, I think he could have been a dope Winston Zedmore. Winston may have gotten a bigger speaking role or a bigger role in the Ghostbusters movie had Eddie Murphy took it. That's pretty interesting. Have you guys seen the last Ghostbuster movie? If so, how was it? Yeah, Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. I have not seen it. I was done with that franchise, honestly, after they did the Ghostbusters with all the ladies. And that's no shade to them, but it was kind of like, come on now. The Ghostbusters are these 4 guys. knock it off. Did nobody, wasn't nobody checking for that. You know what I'm saying? Wasn't nobody checking for that. And old girl Leslie Jones was upset about it, but was like, y'all made it for ladies, so the ladies are supposed to go see it. Guys are not gonna see it. It is what it is. Somebody asked me, I'll bring this up before I get out of here, but somebody asked me, how did I feel about the replacing of T'Chaka for T'Challa in the X-Men 97 thing. And I thought it was interesting that Marvel would do this. Marvel is the biggest troll that there is. And I will simply say this about what they're doing. I don't understand it. I do not understand it at all. Why they would just do this? Are they really trying to erase T'Challa? And if they do, why would they erase him in favor of his father? It makes no sense. From a comic book standpoint, it makes no sense. From a standpoint of the history of that character, it just does not make any sense. What's the reason why they're doing this? I don't know. And I don't care. I just want them to recast T'Challa on the big screen. Point blank, period. It's interesting why they're doing what they're doing with that dude. I don't understand it, and I'm not going to trauma bond with other Black Panther fans over it because it's Marvel. It's what they do. It sickens me, but it's just what they do. I don't understand it. I don't understand it. But okay, Marvel, y'all just, y'all keep driving that train that way. And the truth be told, it's not going to stop until Black Panther fans stop buying the product. When they stop buying the product, that's when Marvel will pay attention. But that's the problem. The Black Panther fans are buying the product. Too many of them are buying the product. Shout out to my man Theo. Theo got, no T'Challa, no dollar. And the truth be told, the only way to get this right is you got to hit Marvel in their pockets. And I don't see no other way around it. Paul says, how long have I been warning that this would happen to me? You've been saying it for about 3 years, Paul. We have to give you your props. You called it. I just don't understand. It's just like they're finding different ways to do it, though. I'm like, why? Why? Why sabotage a character? A character that has made a bunch of money. And this is what I came up with. When Black Panther first hit the scene, right? It did 1.4 billion, right? Now, 1.4 billion is not comic book fans, okay? Comic book fans is probably right at 1 billion. The extra 400,000 that was commercial or mainstream casuals. I like this trailer. I'm gonna go see this movie. I don't know. I never read a Black Panther comic book, but I'm gonna go see it at the theater. I'm gonna get dressed up. I'm gonna go dressed up like I'm going to Zamunda instead of Wakanda. But I'm gonna go and support this film. So it became something bigger than the actual character itself. And I think that influence was so strong that it scared some people that they may have to put this character in the front. And the truth be told, based on the Marvel history, you have to. He has to be center stage. That's the history of Marvel. What are you guys doing? There's no getting around that. There's no getting around the fact that he is one of your best characters. He's been tried and true for years. But this is how y'all do him. Okay. So again, it is what it is. Now, Nightwatch says, now the BP move was lightning in a bottle. It had more to do with the cultural impact. And Chadwick Boseman, most black folk left thinking Wakanda was real. Yeah, I mean, but that's my point, Nightwatch. I mean, I think that was the whole thing, is that the whole show, we showed up in the theater, had our dashikis on, people outside playing drums, people tripping, people just, you know how we do. We get extra with it. And again, Chadwick Boseman, phenomenal actor, knocked it out the park. But given all of that, though, still, you could literally maximize that influence, that appeal. But you didn't think enough of the character to. And then we got the word that Coogler is going to do Black Panther 3. How you love that? The guy who had the guy who decided that he wanted to have a funeral on screen is directing, or heading up the Black Panther 3 movie. Shout out to all the Black Panther fans. It ain't over. Nightwatch says, I agree, but it was more about the extra stuff than it was about BP. And that's the point, though, I think, Nightwatch. I think that the whole thing is, I think that people don't recognize how starved the Black community was for a superhero, a Black superhero, to be seen on screen. I think that we some people try to downplay the importance of that. We talk about representation, and that was I would say an honest, not a truthful, but an honest portrayal of representation. Talking about Black Panther, honest but not fully truthful, because we have not yet to see the Black Panther from the comics in the movies. That's why I say it's honest but not truthful. We needed that. We needed that. I tell the story. When I had found out I had cancer, Nightwatch, one of the things that I was concerned with was whether or not I was going to be well enough to go see the movie the premiere day. I just found out some bad news. Found out I had cancer. And back in my mind, I'm not thinking about the treatment. I'm not thinking about whether or not I'm a survive this. I'm thinking about, man, am I going to be okay to see the movie? That's kind of where I was in my own brain. And that's somebody that's, quote, I would say, rational, in my thinking. But that was a real thing for me. I wanted to be there day one. And the Lord blessed me, and I was able to go see that movie day one. But I really thought about it. I really did. So, again, we need more of that stuff. I'm here for the extra stuff. I'm here for the extra stuff. I'm like old boy John Witherspoon's character in Friday. Give me a 2-piece with a pepper and all the fries you can give me. All the fries you can give me. Yes, sir. Black Panther says, sorry to hear that, brother. Oh, I'm Black Panther. I'm good, bro. I am cancer free. In going on year 7. I'm good. Thank God. So yeah. Nightwatch says, Beep offers comic book fans and cashiers a connection with Africa. Perhaps DC can leverage this and find a way to feature Vixen in cinema. Well, that would be right. They need bruh. That's a character that they sitting on at DC. But these are not our characters. These it is what it is. That's all I'm gonna say about that. Zell says, "Congrats, brother." Black Panther says, "Right on." Nightwatch, praise God for the healing, bro. Absolutely, yes, indeed. Oh yeah, I was very, very, very happy. Very, very, very happy. Let me tell you. I'll share this with you, and I'm gonna get out of here. So when I had my treatment and stuff, right? And they go back in to look where the cancer was. The doctor came to me and said, "There's no trace evidence that I had cancer. It was completely gone." So yes, I got a full healing from the Lord with that. No trace evidence whatsoever. It was like I never had cancer. When they looked at it, it was like it was completely gone. So I thank God for that. So yes. So yes, indeed. So I am a living testimony. You know what I'm saying? And again, like I said, I have a affinity for Chadwick Boseman and a love for Chadwick Boseman that the average guy may not have. Because again, when I went through that, right? And then I found out that he, was sick and then he died. It broke my heart because while he was filming that, while he was doing all of this stuff, here I was, just happy to see him in the theaters, happy to see his portrayal. It was a moment for my life, bro. It was a moment for my life for sure. So my connection to that movie, and again, like I said, I'm not the hardcore Black Panther fan, but I wanted to be there day one. I wanted to be there day one. And here's the thing: I saw that movie 3 times before I took my wife. 3 times before I actually took my wife to go see this movie. That's how much I loved this movie. And I was a Black Panther fan, but I wasn't the most hardcore. And then when I took my wife to see it, she knows nothing about Black Panther or any of this. This was her first experience. And to see, the Dora Milaje, chunking these vibranium weapons or whatever, that was amazing to see her react to that. It was dope. And Azelle said, Killmonger was right. Absolutely. No doubt, no doubt. God is good, y'all. With that said, man, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. Oh, where's my stuff at? I set my stuff down. Uh-oh. Where did I put it? Uh-oh. Anyway, I don't need it. I'm going to go ahead and give you guys the benediction to the night. The benediction comes from Proverbs, the 3rd chapter, verse 31. It simply says this: envy not the oppressor and choose not his ways. All right? Envy not the oppressor and choose not his ways. So, with that being said, from the stronghold that is Black Comic Lords and Black Superheroes Forever, it's your boy Rich. Until next time, we say peace. Y'all take care of yourselves. God bless. We out.